Hey everyone, it's Dwight Streu, the Dwight Streu Real Estate team. Happy New Year to y'all. Lately I've been getting a lot of questions from people about where I think the market's heading in 2021. Do I think homes are going to be easier to sell or harder to sell? Are prices going to go up? Are they going to go down? Or are they going to do nothing at all? And what effect is COVID going to have on the real estate market in 2021? Well, these are all really good questions. And so I thought I would just address some of the factors that might influence prices over the next few months or years even. But before we do that, I'd like to know, where do you think the real estate market's going to go in 2021? Do you think prices are going up? Or are they going down? Or are they going to stay the same? I'd really be interested to know your thoughts and why. Why do you think that? Is it a gut feeling? Or do you have some insider information that I should know about? I'd appreciate your comments. I think before we look at perhaps where we're going, it's important that we look where we've come from. So rewind back to 2014, and that's when oil prices collapsed. And shortly after that, the real estate market really began to struggle. Lots of people started putting their homes up for sale. People were losing their jobs. People were moving away. People wanted to take their equity out before maybe they lost it. So for a variety of reasons, we really saw inventory shoot up. But what happened at the same time is we saw demand for homes decreasing. So there were fewer and fewer people actually buying. And so the people who really needed to sell, ended up where they were competing for buyers. And the way you compete for buyers is by providing better value than other homes that are for sale. And so that puts downward pressure on prices. And that's what happened for several years. And then in 2018, Canada Mortgage and Housing implement their stress test. Now, what that did is it made it harder for people to qualify for mortgages. And so they did that to cool overheated markets in Vancouver and Toronto. But it had an adverse effect on our market as well. So it was really like adding fuel to the fire. So now 2020 comes and January starts off kind of typical. Sales are slow. February they get better. March they get better again. Just heading into our busy spring market, and bam, COVID hits. And what happens, of course, is sales plummet. We see a lot of fear in the market. There's a lot of people walking away from deals, and people are just scared. Nobody's going out looking at homes. And so in April, sales fell by 55%. It's like they fell off a cliff. And in May, they fell by 35%. So big declines in home sales. And I know we all thought we were in for a really tough year in real estate. Surely things would get better, but we're never going to recover from all the lost sales we saw in April and May. Or would we? So funny thing happens in June. Sales in June rise by 80% over where they were in May. 80%. And not only were they 80% higher than May, they were actually higher, 15% higher than they were of June 2019 when nobody had ever heard the word COVID. July, same thing. Sales are actually higher than July 2019. August, and on until the very end of the year, every month we saw sales higher than the corresponding month back in 2019. So it appears we didn't lose all those sales that we thought we would, that they just really kind of got shifted later in the year. And that surprised me, and I think it surprised most of my colleagues, and I think it surprised CMHC as well. Now, right around June of 2020, CMHC came out with a forecast where they said home prices were going to drop by 13 to 18%. And that's a big number, especially since our prices had already dropped considerably. Now, I don't know, do you remember that announcement? It was a pretty big deal at the time. Type in comments, let me know if you remember that announcement. I know my phone lit up for a couple of weeks after that from people wanting to sell their homes. They were kind of panicking. But we're only 6 months out from that, but it does not appear to me like that will likely be the case. I think sales are stronger than what CMHC projected and what we anticipated. And in fact, at the end of the year, the end of 2020, home sales were actually up, not prices, but the number of sales were up 3% over what they were for 2019. So definitely a big surprise and a welcome surprise. And I found that homes were probably selling better in the fall than they had in many years. And even some home prices I thought were a little bit higher than what they might have been earlier in the year. Because now we kind of had a turnaround. So we had more people buying, more demand, but there was actually less inventory too, less homes for sale. And so we saw even a little bit more in terms of multiple offers and competing offers. And at the end of the year, the inventory, the number of available homes for sale was down about 15% over they were at the end of 2019, about 1,000 fewer homes for sale. And that's a really important indicator. So now, here we are in January 2021, and where are prices going to go from here? Are the home sales going to return to kind of pre-pandemic levels like they were in say 2018, 2017? Or are they going to continue to kind of buck the trends and be a little bit higher than what they were? Well, I don't have a crystal ball, of course, but my own feeling is that I do think that we're going to have slightly higher sales volumes than what we've had, and at least in the short term. The long term, I'm not so sure about, because really keep in mind the fundamentals of why real estate struggled from 2014 on was because of the Alberta economy and the Alberta economy struggling, and I don't see that turning around anytime soon. Now, I think we're all kind of wondering what's going to happen when COVID is under control. Are we going to see businesses hiring, or are we going to see businesses laying people off? And really nobody knows the answers to that. But if you're not confident in your job situation, then you're probably not going to go out and make a major purchase like real estate. So that all speaks kind of to the demand side of the equation moving forward. But the other important metric to keep an eye on is the inventory. You see, demand varies from year to year, but not a huge variance. Maybe 5% the sales could be up or down. But the inventory levels can increase or decrease much, much quicker. And so again, as I mentioned, right now we're about 1,000 units lower than what we were. What's going to happen moving forward? As we head into the spring market, are we going to see lots of homes coming back on the market, or are we going to see decreased inventory levels? And what happens, again, when COVID is under control? Now, are we going to see a lot more people feeling more comfortable putting their homes out in the market? And again, that's going to increase inventory levels. So listen, I don't have the answers to all those questions, but I think we're going to know in the next few months, because that's when we'll start to see inventory levels typically rise in the spring market, and we'll see how many homes are coming on the market. But that is an important metric that I really keep my eye on every month, is what are the inventory levels, and are we seeing a trend in that direction? So listen, I hope you've enjoyed this information. If you have, please leave your comments. Give me a thumbs up. If you know of anybody who'd be interested in it, share. If you'd like some more informative real estate videos, you can visit our YouTube channel. Just Google Dwight Streu YouTube. If you want to know how the market has affected your home's value, you can visit my website, www.dwightstreu.com, or you can just give me a call at 780-462-5002. Again, thanks for watching. I appreciate your comments. I hope you have a great day, everyone.